Okay, it's recording.
Okay, I'll pause so it's just us.
Whew.
That Cry Macho, that was terrible.
No me gusta.
Dude, okay, we gotta look up if the actors were like just normal people, because he's done this in a few movies.
Yeah.
And so I've watched Clint Eastwood. I saw The Mule, which was, I guess, his most recent one.
Before this?
And I enjoyed it. That one, I don't think he hired any locals. He just did it. Gran Torino, he hired locals. The one on the train, the recreation of a real event, he hired the actual people who were in the event. This just smacks of that.
Well, I mean, looking at the cast on IMDb, it doesn't look like it. Seems like these are actors.
No.
Not the kids, like the little deaf girl.
Right.
Man, yeah, that was bad acting. I mean, right out of the gate, Dwight Yoakam is awful. Like, awful. Look at me act. This is me acting right now. Like, that was his character the whole time. Yeah. There was very little reason behind any of the decisions. Just to like everything was convenient way to tell this story. Real life would not play out this way.
They not only said exactly what they were doing, they would ask each other, is this what we're doing? Yes, this is what we're doing. And you know it because we're watching what they're doing. And that was the dialogue of the movie.
Yeah.
The scene where he takes a nap in the restaurant. What are you doing? I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. Oh, old man needs to take a nap? Yes. That was an actual set of dialogue in this
scene right before he takes a nap, and then he gets woken up by a rooster, the way you do, like.
Right. And this restaurant they're in is closed, and he wakes up and he finds the kid washing dishes.
Drying. He was drying.
Drying dishes, yes. And what I was thinking was, they barely ate anything. Like,
but there was a stack of plates there. Yeah.
Right. The premise. Okay, you're right. So it's right out of the gate, Dwight Yoakam.
Yep.
Who must just be friends with Clint Eastwood. Like, that's all I can figure.
Well, former boss. I think Clint Eastwood made all the money at the rodeo that he ran. So that's why all the trophies were on the wall, all of that stuff. So he's like, clean out your locker, right?
Right.
And then a year later has passed, and now they're friends again.
I meant Dwight Yoakam is just friends with Clint Eastwood.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
And that's why he's in this thing.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
He's like, would you be in my movie? And Dwight Yoakam goes, well, I'm kind of busy. He's like, you only have to spend an hour.
Right. Also, you're not busy. It's COVID lockdown. We got nothing to do. Let's just go shit out this movie. Oh, God. But yeah, everything, it's like not only like stereotypes and conveniences, the story, there's very little stakes. They really force the stakes in there. What's the mom? Once he gets to Mexico, the kid's mom, like, what's that about? We don't know her background other than Dwight Yoakam saying she's crazy.
Right.
And then I like what you pointed out, like, I couldn't seduce him. He, get him out of here. Like, that's
right. Clint Eastwood, make a big point of him being 91. And then every woman he encounters that isn't a preteen,
Yeah, falls in love with him.
yeah. Here is this woman who apparently is like she's a criminal element in Mexico,
Yeah,
right? Because she
hosting
has
huge parties at the top.
right.
Yep.
And here comes person number 3 in the form of 91-year-old former horse trainer, which, by the way, it's never, or horse breeder.
Yeah.
They do establish Clint Eastwood has the capability to train horses later in the movie, but they don't establish early in the movie that he's a horse breeder. Like it's never mentioned.
Nope. You read it beforehand, but yeah, he even calls himself at one moment Dr. Doolittle. What am I, Dr. Doolittle? Because people are bringing him animals to cure.
Yes. But he goes down to Mexico, sneaks into this house. He doesn't belong. This woman who has the police under her thumb and hired thugs who can go around and do her dirty work.
Yep.
And she has a ton of money and throws massive parties. And she's like, hey, 91-year-old man, you want to find my son? My son is terrible. I don't know where he is. He's probably cockfighting, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. All I know is he's wild. He is wild.
Because he's wild. and then Clint Eastwood goes to the cockfight place.
And guess who he finds? Right away.
Right away. This person that's wild and hard to find. And everybody scatters because the police show up. Except for Clint Eastwood and the kid.
And the boy. And the police don't look for them, don't find them. They get there, everyone leaves, the police are like, all right, see you later, I guess.
Yes. They are the only ones who stuck around. The only ones. And the chicken.
Yeah. Macho. Don't forget.
Macho. So he finds the kid. Kid goes off. I don't know. I have to go do something.
Yeah.
So then Clint Eastwood goes, okay, well, while the kid's doing something, I'm going to go driving back to the criminal element mom and tell her I found the kid. And then her immediate reaction is going to be to try and have sex with me.
Yes. This like late 30s, maybe 40s-year-old woman. Oh,
right.
91-year-old cowboy man. Please.
And he says no. And then she flips out and threatens him and tells him to leave the country. Otherwise, she's going to have him arrested. Leave the country because this Jesus, what is the octogenarian's an 80-year-old? He's 91.
Yes.
Nonagenarian?
I don't know.
This nonagenarian won't have sex with me, and she's put a lot of her self-worth into the notion of having sex with a stranger who's probably 50 years older than her.
Yeah. Yep.
So, as we all do when we're scorned, when lovers are scorned, we have to hurt them so that they don't hurt us further.
Sure, yeah. Act out.
So she's like, you have to leave the country.
Another thing is, at a certain point, like later on in the movie, the boy establishes that, when we see his bruises, that the uncle, the mom's boyfriend beats him, who he calls the uncle, but he's there the whole time when she's trying to seduce Clint Eastwood earlier in the film. Like he's there.
The uncle, the uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't okay. So this is the guy that chases them down, and
correct. Yeah,
I wasn't sure that was who that was,
because that's what he says when maybe not, but like I interpreted that when they're at that gas station and they incur like, no, and then the boy lifts up his shirt like he's the one who beats me, and then all the guys gang up on Uncle Guy. I mean that's.
Right, but I think he was just making that up. But yeah, so that's another great moment in the movie. So here's this guy, he has a pistol, he has a revolver that holds 6 bullets, and he drives around Mexico randomly finding these dudes as they're just Clint Eastwood and the kid, so Clint Eastwood's Michael, and then the kid's name I can't even remember.
No, Raphael.
Okay.
Rafi.
And
the rooster
they're
is Macho.
escaping the federales, they're escaping all these people, but this dude with his 6-shooter just manages to continuously find them
every step of the way. Yep. Ugh.
Yeah, and so they set up. I want to take this kid home with me. The uncle wants to take, this thug wants to take this kid home, and he tells this town of people, Clint Eastwood is kidnapping this boy.
Yep.
And they're like, well, we're gonna go beat up Clint Eastwood, and then the kid just shows everybody scars on his back and says, no, the thug is the one who's beating me up. So the town goes, well, we'll just
beat him up on a car.
And then they do.
Yeah. Oh man, so much about it is so just bad all over. But
the acting is, yeah.
This movie was made. I mean, it was made. Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I have to look up. I feel like some of the lead, Raphael, he had to have been not a professional actor. Just knowing that Clint Eastwood's done this.
What did you say? Why did you say he was wild? He's wild because
he chooses his own grammar.
That's what makes him so wild. Oh God, it's so awful.
Because in the movie, he was the least wild entity.
Yep.
He was the most passive, quiet, trusting, helpful.
He makes a point a couple times to say how he can't trust anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have to say he does it with a double negative. You can't trust nobody.
You're right. Yep. So I guess that's true.
But then later, because he trusts a lot of people in this film, then later he's confronted about it. He said, I thought you said you can't trust anybody.
Yeah. Right.
No, technically he said he can't trust nobody.
And then there's the woman that helps them in the small town where we don't know how long they stayed in this town, but they established a relationship, That
right.
Seems like that could be a month, but we don't know. There's no sense of time. Because he also was helping this farmer tame his wild horses.
They established it was at least 2 weeks.
Did they?
Yes, because Dwight Yoakam's like, you said you'd be here in a few days, and it's been 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. I guess I missed that part.
So he seduces by accident yet another woman who's at least a little bit closer to his age. She's only 40 years different.
Yeah.
He fixes a car with an oil leak from above. He fixes the oil leak from above somehow. Yeah. Never uses the car again, but he fixes it.
He clearly fixes it. He helps a guy who steals wild horses tame them and sell them.
So and he becomes the town veterinarian.
Yeah, and everyone brings their animals to him for help, including the town sheriff.
Right. So the town sheriff is looking like this guy, he can't be trusted. He keeps following Clint Eastwood around, right? Just keeps following wherever he is. And then there's this amazingly tense scene where Clint Eastwood's fixing everybody's animals by touching them, basically.
Yeah, he's whispering to them. He's the animal whisperer.
Yeah, his entire set of care is like, oh, yeah.
Like and that goat is like, yeah, he really does have a cut on his leg. There it is. Like you diagnosed it. Oh boy.
So the cop comes up and is like, everybody get out of here. Everybody get out of here. Who are you? What are you doing here? And they're like, I'm just here.
Helping these people with their animals.
Yeah. And he goes, great. Here's my wife and her sick dog. Fix it.
But then Clint Eastwood whispers to the boy, I don't know if I can fix this dog. He's just got to sleep in your bed. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks. He even starts smiling.
So now they're best friends. And that town sheriff turns the federales away.
Yes, because here's another best point. So now they're best friends. It doesn't make any sense, but now they're best friends. And then the federales show up, and with the uncle thug,
Yep.
looking for the gringo, and the sheriff turns them away, says nope. So they leave, and Clint Eastwood witnesses all of this, and his immediate response to the federales and the thug being turned away by the sheriff is, we have to leave now.
Well, here's the thing.
Right now.
It is established that he does not speak Spanish, and that whole conversation happened in Spanish. So he's not privy to exactly what was going on, what they were saying. So,
but you do know that there. Did you catch that the no, it wasn't at the border. Where was it? Oh yes, it was the cops when the federales did catch him.
Yeah.
And asked him what they're doing. The boy said in Spanish, "I'm going to Texas to see my dad who's really sick.
This is my uncle." Yeah.
Yeah. And Clint Eastwood says in English, "Yeah, his dad is really sick."
Yes. Yep. Like, what happened? Yeah.
Also, he knows sign language in Spanish.
Mm-hmm. And he says, Spanish sign language. He says, it's just something you pick up. As an ex-rodeo star / horse breeder.
I gotta ask this. Do deaf, I'm just here because the internet, here's the internet. Do deaf Mexican speak ASL? Sign language is used for deaf.
American Sign Language.
Oh yeah, no, it's in Mexico, one sign language is used throughout most of the country. It is known in English as Mexican Sign Language.
So it's different.
Yeah.
So Clint Eastwood's character doesn't speak Spanish. However, he picked up Spanish Sign Language. Like he was able to do that. He got that part. Whoa. Whole thing. Real bad.
Real bad. Oh my God. Did you know? Okay, so at one point they're driving a truck, Clint Eastwood's truck, and it gets stolen. And thus starts the buddy movie romp.
Yeah. The midnight run version of Cry Macho. Yeah.
Yeah. And when it's stolen, they go into town, they walk into town.
Yeah. Who knows how long that walk is, but it's far.
Yes. And the first thing, I don't even understand this conversation that happened, but the first thing that they do is take the money that they have and go buy clothing.
Well, Clint Eastwood does. The boy stays out by the drinking fountain to get water, which Clint Eastwood, 91-year-old, walking through a hot desert, does not drink any water.
Right. And let's remember, it was drinking the water that made him sick in the hot desert,
Sure,
which is why they were wandering the desert away from their truck to allow their truck to get stolen.
Oh, boy.
And then with his money, he buys himself clothes because the dialogue is, you don't want to look like a gringo.
Yep.
I guess that's the logic. Like, you don't want to stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So he buys himself clothes, but he does buy the boy clothes too.
Yeah.
He goes,
So now neither one of them look like a gringo.
Did the boy put the clothes on? Because did he change clothes during the show?
He did. Okay. And then they wore that outfit the other 2.5 weeks that they were out.
Yeah.
Whew.
I thought that was weird. And then the boy steals a car off screen.
Mm-hmm.
And Clint Eastwood is not having that.
But
except the fact he's going to drive it.
He drives it to the next small town. Oh my gosh.
It breaks down, he fixes it, and then they steal another car.
All those moments, all those steps, it's just so convenient. It's convenient that this kid who's wild, established that he's wild, we don't know in what sense other than cockfights. Like he has cockfights with his rooster. macho.
Right.
But I guess that can justify everything. Steals a car. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the bad thing that he does.
Yeah. You know,
And he's got a roller coaster of emotion concerning Clint Eastwood. Yes, we're friends. I'm getting out of here. I can't trust you. Like every other scene is a fight between the two of them where he's not going to go anymore.
right.
Oy.
Well, and then Macho is the name of the rooster.
Yeah.
Uh, they use the rooster. The rooster fights off
It's
the
the
Uncle
hero. He's
Thug.
the hero of the movie, actually.
He fights off the Uncle Thug in more than one scene. He comes flying out of the car the second time and attacks the uncle and the Uncle Thug in the face.
Yep.
Which is how they're able to get away.
Yep. Yeah. And steal his car.
Yeah. But the entire time as I was watching the movie, I go, this chicken is immaterial to everything that's going on in this movie. Like, it has no significance. They do a speech about it being called macho, but the chicken has no significance.
Until the end. He's the only one that fights in the whole thing.
That's true. But then the boy hands the chicken over to Clint Eastwood because they swap places. Clint Eastwood comes to Mexico to save the boy, and then he decides to stay in Mexico and be with the woman because, look, I'm dating someone younger than me. I get it.
He's going right back to that small town. Yeah, that's another thing. It's a white savior movie where he moves to this small town, like cleans it up, fixes everyone's animal, cares for this woman and her deaf grandchild who's her daughter's dead, so now she has to take care of these grandchildren. Like, just give me a break. You're 91. You're not saving your breath, dude. Like, you are sleeping in the middle of the day. You can't be the hero of this town.
Right. The white savior thing. So his prior movie was like Gran Torino. I've seen essays about it. It's controversial because he plays this old crotchety man. In The Mule, he plays an old crotchety man. Yeah. That's what he plays anymore at this point, which is fine. Whatever. Okay. But he plays an old crotchety man who has all these racist notions, and people attack him for that. And then he plays like a white savior and people attack him for that. But also, you look at someone like Clint Eastwood and you're like, but at the same time, you know what he is doing? He's making movies about people of other cultures, and he's hiring locals to do it. And I don't think he's going in with some intention of insulting anybody or attacking anybody or anything like that.
I didn't think that. I just mean the story itself. Like, he didn't write this movie.
Right, that's true. That's true. He didn't write this one. But my point is, because he now has this little bit of a history, and the white savior story of this is very obvious. Gran Torino didn't bother me. It's controversial, but I feel like it was about clashing and like trying to see the humanity in each other or whatever. This one, like, even the cockfighting, right? Because that's really early in the movie. I'm like, this is the amount of research they did on Mexico.
This is just a bad, dumb stereotype. Like, that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do a bad, dumb stereotype, at least make it look real. Like,
they were holding them and forcing them in each other's fate. Like, take this rooster, take this, like, fight, fight. And then the cops show up. Like, it's the dumbest.
I happen to know a little bit about cockfighting, just a little bit. Okay. Not that, and I know that, like, they groom these. I don't know how they are towards the owners. I don't know if they're nice or whatever, but they groom them to be very vicious, at least towards the other birds. And they wrap razor blades around the legs of the.
Yeah, none of that was happening.
None of that was happening. It was like a parody of Michael Jackson's "Beat It." Like,
it really was. Yeah. The police show up, everyone scatters. I
Yeah.
got this rooster in my hand. Yeah, I did not enjoy this movie. I did not.
No, I did not either.
It's because going into it, I knew I wouldn't, but it holds water. I do not enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate you watching it.
Yeah.
I had higher hopes because I enjoyed the mule is not his best, but I enjoyed aspects of it, and I enjoyed aspects of Gran Torino, and like I'm not categorically opposed to Clint Eastwood in his crotchety old man era.
Got it.
And I enjoy the notion of flawed characters who don't understand cultures, like coming inside of cultures and not necessarily changing per se, but recognizing that people, once they learn things, they evolve a little bit. Like I don't mind stories like that because I think that's life. I think people are like,
Sure. Yeah.
but I'm not defending this. This one's fucking terrible.
It is. And it's just like, yeah, like you said, very little research. It was like the most obvious choices for each scene were taken. So there's zero surprises. There's nothing like it's just and it's boring. It's boring to sit through. It is slow and boring. They try to make action scenes, 2 or 3 of them. Like the very first one is him chasing that rooster.
Yes.
The very first action scene is him chasing a rooster for all of 10 seconds. Okay, great. Even the car chase scene at the end, it would lasted 5 seconds when
the car chase was at like 7 miles an hour.
Totally, like all of it was just convenient and dumb and slow. Yeah, no challenges there. Oof. But I did appreciate how, in his own mind, because he did direct it, so like Clint Eastwood still got it, still a ladies' man. Oh boy, still got it.
Yes, he's like 91 and still rolling.
These ladies cannot get enough of me. Look at me.
Like it's like there's almost more me to love because as my face is sunken in from just age, right? You can see more of my eyeballs.
Yeah.
And you know what? I look at stuff like that and I'm like, oh, you know what? If someone wants to have sex with a 91-year-old man, fine, right? I'm not claiming it's a fetish or whatever. Like,
sure.
But you're right. Was it him or was it the writers? Like somebody had the idea that this was going to, like, there's this long history of older men and younger women in films, and it's flipped at certain times.
Yeah.
But this is still basically a trope, Harrison Ford. But then again, the actual actors like Michael Douglas is dating someone who's a lot younger than him, and like
for sure,
it's really occurred. But it's known. And then there's like Indecent Proposal, which is it's a movie about an older man proposing, right?
For a younger woman,
yeah. And Clint Eastwood and this writing team are just like, we're going to take that trope and we're going to go to the extreme.
Yep.
Right.
And everyone is totally okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's even like Clint Eastwood kind of expects it, like when she brings him into the bed, the very first woman, the mother of the son brings him into her bedroom. He's just like, here we go again, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I've been doing this for 91 years. I am including when I came out of the womb.
Right.
All 91 years I've been having this problem.
Again, I'm not doing it this time. I got a mission. I got to meet this wild kid. Give me a break.
I kind of wish he had gotten into bed with her because I don't know what would have occurred at that point.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
like what?
What was she expecting? Here, I need you to quickly fall asleep.
It might have been the most boring sex scene ever, or the most harrowing sex scene ever. One or the other. I don't think there's a middle ground on that
Not
one.
at all. Nope. No.
And then also because she was asking for it, she was propositioning him. I want to know what her plan
Yeah.
was.
What was the expectation there, lady? Oh,
Let's say you got what you wanted. Now what are you gonna do?
oh goodness.
Yes. And the best actress in the whole movie was the Spanish 50-year-old woman
Yep.
that he goes and decides to spend the rest of his life with.
For sure. Yeah. Though her choice to fall in love with him doesn't make sense necessarily, but she was the best performer in the whole movie.
She was.
Or maybe Macho was. I can't tell. I don't know. Macho, the rooster, did great.
Oh yeah. That was the most well-behaved chicken I've ever seen.
He sat at tables while they were eating.
Yes. Quietly. And then walked down the road with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was.
And hopped onto your arm.
Yeah.
What do you call?
He woke up Clint Eastwood when he needed to wake up.
Okay, that's all. I think that's all I have to say on this movie.
Sure, me too. Yeah. Not my favorite movie. Not my favorite Clint Eastwood movie.
No. I'm glad I had this experience with you because alone, I've been feeling a little depressed lately, and I don't think this was going to help.
No. You would have gone back down the hill. It wouldn't have gotten you over. You would have gone back down the hill.